In 1940, a man named Albert Gray gave a speech to insurance salesmen on what he considered to be the secret of success in life. And many consider Albert Gray's speech to be the single tip that anyone needs to be successful in life. I ended up reading the speech and I thought it was so powerful that I actually want to share some of the key messages and a few excerpts from the speech with you. Because no matter what you're looking at doing in your life right now, whether it's improving your health and fitness, making more money, having deeper relationships, working on your spirituality, what Albert shares as his main idea is 100% relevant. And here's Albert's main point, that the successful people, men and women in any area of life, have simply formed the habits of doing the things consistently that the failures don't like to do. Let me unpack that. Successful people have formed the habits of doing the things that the people who are not successful don't enjoy doing. They do uncomfortable things consistently. And because of that, they're able to be successful. And in the speech, Albert basically explains why this is and what the key points are. And I want to read an excerpt from the speech for you right now. Perhaps you have wondered why it is that our biggest producers seem to like to do the things that you don't like to do. They don't. And I think this is the most encouraging statement I have ever offered to a group of life insurance salesmen. But if they don't like to do these things, then why did they do them? Because by doing the things they don't like to do, they can accomplish the things they want to accomplish. Successful people are influenced by the desire for pleasing results. Failures are influenced by the desire for pleasing methods and are inclined to be satisfied with such results as can be obtained by doing things they like to do. Why are successful people able to do things they don't like to do while failures are not? Because successful people have a purpose strong enough to make them form the habit of doing things they don't like to do in order to accomplish the purpose that they want to accomplish. And this is a really important lesson, and I wanted to read this excerpt because look, when it comes to health and fitness in particular, there are many things that you may need to start doing that you don't like to do. Sometimes exercise can be uncomfortable. Especially if you haven't worked out in years, a hard workout can be massively uncomfortable, yet we know it benefits us. Sometimes if we're used to drinking sodas and sweets and sugars and eating the wrong kinds of foods, changing your diet to cleaner foods can be uncomfortable at first. But ultimately, it leads to more energy, greater well-being, weight loss, muscle gain, all the things we want to accomplish. And the successful people in any area of life have developed the habit of doing things that are uncomfortable. And those that fail slip back into old patterns and they don't develop this habit. So how do you develop a habit? Well, what Albert Gray basically says is you need to have a purpose larger than the uncomfortability. Your reasons for taking these actions needs to be bigger than the momentary discomfort of doing something that is hard. And so one of the things we do inside our Fit Father and Fit Mother programs when people join, before we even get into the meal plan and the workouts, is we help people discover their purpose and write a mission statement. Which means I want you to examine your life right now. How is your health right now affecting all the important areas of your life? Why do you want to be healthy? Who do you need to be healthy for? What is your driving purpose? And if you've struggled and failed at your health for many years, it's often because your purpose is not big enough. It's not juicy enough. It's not deep enough. It's not connected enough. Because if your purpose is not strong enough, when stuff gets tough, there's friction in the routine, something happens in your life, stressors come along, it's going to knock you off track. Successful people build the habits of doing the things that failures don't like to do. And now I want to continue this excerpt from Albert Gray's speech. Here it goes. When a person goes into a slump, it simply means that he or she has reached a point at which, for the time being, the things he doesn't like to do have become more important than his reasons for doing them. And may I pause to suggest to you managers and general agents that when one of your good producers goes into a slump, the less you talk about his production and the more you talk about his purpose, the sooner you will pull him out of his slump. And so this is probably one of the most relevant lines ever to health and fitness because we all get into slumps sometimes. We fall off the diet. We get off our routine. Or maybe it's something at work and we're just not feeling like we're producing and we're in a slump. At this moment, what Albert suggests is we don't look at the production or the routine, we come back to the purpose. We come back to the inner game. We reconnect with our deep why. Because when we have that connection to our deep why, we have power behind our decisions. And that power makes it so we can plow through uncomfortable stuff. And here's where the magic happens. When we plow through the uncomfortable stuff and start to build those habits, it gets easier. The workout you didn't like to do in week 1 gets phenomenally easier by week 3. And in fact, what ends up happening is you get this intrinsic reward system that kicks in, where you taking on these harder challenges and pushing through and being connected to your purpose and making progress ends up being incredibly motivating and rewarding. Now you're fueled by positive momentum. So when we are in slumps, when we fall off track, we must reconnect to purpose. And here's something magical I want to add to this. Purpose should be written down. The fact that we have our members write a mission statement, I believe, might even account for half of people's success. Because ultimately, when we have this idea of a vague sense of purpose, it's far different than if we write it on paper and we see, this is my purpose. These are my reasons why. These are the costs I'm willing to incur in the pursuit of greater health and well-being, or wealth, or relationships. And I willingly accept these costs because my purpose and what I want to accomplish is far greater than momentary discomfort. And I think this is also supported by research. When they look at young kids, and they have this thing called the marshmallow test. You may have heard of it. They put a bunch of young kids in a room, and they put them in front of marshmallows, and the researchers leave the room and instruct the kids, don't eat the marshmallows. And then what they do is they videotape the kids and watch to see what they do. And so what they did is they saw some kids end up eating the marshmallows immediately. Some kids are sitting there with angst and frustration on their face trying to resist. And some kids resist the temptation until the researcher walks back in the room. And then what they did is they tracked these kids for the next 20, 30, 40 years, and they saw their success in life. And what it turns out is the kids that were able to resist the temptation and do something they didn't want to do for the higher purpose, and the researcher said, if you don't eat the marshmallow, I'll give you some kind of reward. Because they can resist that temptation, they're able to be a lot more successful in life. So my question for you is, what is your purpose? Are you massively clear on it? And if you think you're clear, but you have fallen off track many times, maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper. For me in my life, when I first started on this health and fitness stuff, my initial purpose was, after I watched my dad get sick and die at 42 years old, and I was just 9 at the time, my purpose was to become so strong that cancer wouldn't affect me, and I could become so strong to take care of my mom, my little brother, and beat cancer and be strong and healthy. And eventually that purpose morphed into helping other moms and dads get and stay healthy. And now for me, self-personally, my purpose has gotten even deeper. It is to take care of this body because I believe I'm living in accordance to God's natural law and being in integrity, what I think is best for my mind, my body, my spirit. When you get more clarity on your purpose, you have more power. And when you have more power, you can be consistent and plow through the uncomfortable stuff. Because life is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable from the beginning. It will continue to be uncomfortable. But if you have purpose that can plow through, you can get the results you want. And I promise you this, those results that you want are far better than the momentary comfort you might get from that bag of chips or the sweets. They're far better than skipping that workout and the relief you might get in that sense. Connect to your purpose. If you want help with this stuff, if you'd like clarity on not just how to improve your physical body with nutrition and exercise, but also how to connect more deeply with your why and develop a plan and structure around that, my team and I would love to help you. We help tens of thousands of busy moms and busy dads all around the world do this every single week inside of our programs. There's links below in the description where you can get our free meal plan, free workouts, and join our paid programs. Hope you found this message valuable, my friend, today. Albert Gray, his speech is called The Common Denominator of Success. I recommend you read it and you take these lessons and you apply it into your life today. I'll see you soon.